Picture this. You're 3,000 miles away, scattering your father's ashes over Puget Sound, when your phone explodes with a neighbor's panicked FaceTime. Diesel engines roar. Wood cracks like gunshots. And there, in your driveway, stands Eleanor Hargrove, Cascade Lake Estates HOA president, directing a bulldozer like she's conducting a symphony of destruction. "They're tearing it down, Derek," your neighbor yells over the chaos. She thought grief would keep me quiet. She thought wrong. 6 weeks earlier my dad dropped dead in his recliner, Braves game still on. 74 years old, last of the old guard. The cabin Grandpa Silas built in 1962, every beam hand-hewn, every railing carved over 3 bitter Cascade winters, was supposed to be our retirement plan. Me and Dad, teaching my daughter how to tie a fly on that dock at dawn. Instead I was in Seattle handling funeral details when Eleanor's certified letter landed like a grenade. Notice of noncompliance. It began all crisp corporate font and fake sympathy. Your pre-HOA structure is a visual blight depressing property values. 14 days to paint it driftwood beige, remove the dock, demolish the shed, or we will, and bill you. Signed Eleanor Hargrove, President, with a little heart dotting the I like she was doing me a favor. I requested an emergency board meeting. First mistake. We sat in her McMansion clubhouse, 6 board members staring like I'd tracked mud on their marble. I laid out the 1962 permits, the survey, Grandpa's original deed. "This place predates your covenants by 40 years. County code says it's grandfathered." Eleanor didn't even look. She just tilted her head, voice dripping synthetic honey. "Derek, we're so sorry for your loss, truly. But rules are rules, and the community has spoken." Her son Brandon, Permatan, Hargrove builds polo stretched over Gymrat's shoulders, leaned back smirking. Funny how his crew always won the remediation contracts. I left thinking the law would protect me. Second mistake. While I was in Seattle, funeral Thursday, ashes Friday, family obligations through the weekend, my phone buzzed non-stop with HOA emails. Reminder, compliance deadline. Update, remediation scheduled. Corporate speak for, "We're coming for your memories." I ignored them. I had a father to bury. Before I left I'd padlocked the place, posted a no trespassing, and asked old Hank 2 lots down to keep watch. "Anything with heavy equipment, you call me immediately." Day 4, Hank's video call lit up while I was drinking burnt coffee at my aunt's. Diesel roared behind him. "Derek, they're here." 3 trucks, a bulldozer. Eleanor standing in your driveway with her damn clipboard. I watched live as the blade bit into Grandpa's front porch. Watched that railing he'd shaped over 3 winters splinter like kindling. Sheriff Dispatch picked up board. "We have a report the HOA has authorization and a court order." "There is no court order," I said, voice level from 19 years citing corner-cutting contractors. "Check your system. And while you're at it, note they have 0 demolition permits, 0 asbestos inspection on a pre-1978 structure, 0 hazardous waste disposal plan. That's 3 felonies and a lake full of carcinogens happening right now. Sounds like a civil matter, sir. Contact your attorney." Click. I booked the red eye, $720 for a seat that didn't recline. By the time I drove the 40 miles from Seattle to Tacoma, it was dark. The cabin was gone. Just a concrete slab, piles of cedar and shattered glass catching moonlight like broken teeth. Diesel and sawdust hung thick enough to taste. Staked in the dirt beside the foundation, a laminated sign. Per Cascade Lake Estates Bylaw 14.7, non-compliant structure removed. Restoration and disposal costs, $29,800. Invoice to follow. Eleanor Hargrove, President. I stood there holding that sign, hands shaking, not from grief, but from pure, ice-cold clarity. She didn't just destroy 60 years of family history. She was going to charge me for the privilege. And that, right there, was the moment Eleanor Hargrove handed a county building inspector the perfect weapon. I didn't sleep. I sat on the slab till dawn making lists. Methodical. Because inspectors don't rage. We document. First stop. Sheriff station at 7 a.m. Detective Ruiz took Hank's 8 hours of video, the forged court order side by side with county records showing nothing filed. Criminal trespass, felony destruction of property, illegal disposal of hazardous materials, I listed. She whistled low. "This is good. But HOAs get tricky. Not when they skip county permits on asbestos," I answered. Next, Judith Klein, the lawyer who eats HOA boards for breakfast. Sunshine Law request for 5 years of financials, she said, eyes lighting up. Nonprofits can't hide. Then my favorite part, my actual job. Cascade Lake Estates was due for its rotating district inspection anyway. I started with Brandon Hargrove's last 11 McMansions. Showed up unannounced. Found missing seismic straps in earthquake country, HVAC venting carbon monoxide straight into attics, deck railings 2 inches too low for toddlers. 64 violations across 11 homes. Letters went out that week. 30 days to fix or daily fines start. Homeowners lost their minds. Brandon called screaming. This is harassment. I kept my voice pleasant. Just doing my job, Brandon. Same one I do for everyone. More than I can say for whoever signed off on these death traps. Eleanor's complaint to county administration landed the next day. 20 minutes later the administrator called me in. Dismissed, she said, sliding the file across her desk. Off the record? Bury her. Woman's been a menace for 7 years. Judith hit the financials like a sledgehammer. $420,000 in annual dues. 260 documented expenses. 160,000 missing. Every year for 5 years. Brandon's company billed $85,000 for landscaping that 3 competitors priced at $25,000. Fake legal fees to a disbarred cousin. Eleanor's admin expenses included her Lexus lease and monthly spa days. Then the email chain, 3 days before the demolition. Handle the Harlan problem permanently. Bill as emergency remediation. Usual split. Brandon replied, done. Grief will keep him quiet. But the kill shot was in the county archives at 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, surrounded by dust and 1957 leather-bound deeds. Paragraph 7 of the original land grant. Any demolition of pre-1960 structures on granted parcels requires unanimous county board approval. Violation triggers full title reversion to the county for public conservation use. Eleanor's bulldozer hadn't just hit my cabin. It had nuked title protection for all 86 McMansions on the lake. We turned the annual HOA meeting into a public execution. Hall packed. Cameras rolling. Eleanor at the head table in pearls and victory smile. I stood. Under state statute I present evidence of fiduciary breach. Slides rolled. Grandpa's cabin, before in rubble. Hank's video, gasps rippled through the room. No permits. Asbestos in the air your kids breathe. Your president poisoned the lake. Financial charts landed like punches. The email exploded 10 feet tall on the screen. Shouts erupted. You stole from us. Code violations. Photos of Brandon's shoddy work. A young mom with 2 toddlers stood shaking. Our house isn't safe? Then the 1957 deed. Dead silence. One illegal swing of that bulldozer, and every single one of your homes could revert to county ownership. Eleanor went sheet white. Brandon tried to bolt. Detective Ruiz stepped forward, badge out. Eleanor Hargrove. Brandon Hargrove. You're under arrest. Handcuffs clicked under camera flashes. Eleanor spat as they led her past me. You've ruined me. I met her eyes calm. No, Eleanor. You demolished a World War II veteran's legacy while his son buried him. I just made sure the whole lake knew exactly who the real eyesore was. 6 months later the new cabin stood, community barn raising, 23 families hammering nails on a Saturday. Same footprint, same cedar, new hand-carved railing done by a local who studied Grandpa's salvaged pieces. Plaque on the restored public dock reads, Silas Harlan Landing. Property values are up 8%. Turns out people actually like living without rulers measuring their grass. Eleanor pled guilty on 5 felonies. 18 months. Real estate license gone, Lexus auctioned, house foreclosed. Last I heard she's folding prison laundry, fitting, considering how much dirty money she laundered through community fees. Brandon's company dissolved, banned from the county, paying settlements for the next decade. The HOA? Dissolved. Voluntary neighborhood group now, $75 a month optional, no fines, no rulers. Folks paint their houses actual colors. One guy went screaming yellow just because he could. True or false? The real abuser of power was the county inspector who used every legal tool he had to fight back, or the HOA president who thought the rules only ever applied to everyone else. Drop your answer below. I guarantee half this comment section has their own HOA horror story waiting to be told.